Hey everybody, welcome back to Steve's Garage. You know who I am. Hey, been a while since the last video, and the reason is because I was working on this car without you, cheating on you a little bit. What I was doing was, in the last video, you saw how I welded up the roof. So what I did, because since then, is I have sanded the whole thing down and blended it in and did a little planishing on it. But it was like probably 4 2-hour sessions of grinding and sanding. And I know you don't need to see that. You can plenty of videos on sanding and grinding, but it's a lot of work and a lot of, step stool leaning over. So, had to do a little at a time because it's not something you do every day and you don't want to do it every day, but it's a lot of work. So got the roof finished up. We're going to review that. We're going to show you the trunk with the spare tire on, because I didn't show you that when I did the trunk. And today we're going to go inside and put our structure back together from cutting this roof apart and bringing it forward. There's interior structural, like an inner walls in here that need to be cut to shape and welded in place. And right now I've got this thing tethered together with a ratchet strap, because if you watch, way back, quite a few videos back, the bottom of these doors was out about a 1/2 inch on each side. Like this whole body had, squashed out a little bit. And I think it's probably because of that huge open roof that was here, that the cars just kind of sag into themselves a little bit. And now I've held it together with the strap. We've done this structure. I'm going to put my interior structure together today. And then I'm going to put gussets inside the roof line here to follow the roof. Don't think we're not going to get to that today, but just want to say another thank you to everybody who's been following. We're 2,100 and some odd people. We also have hit 500,000 views on the channel. I'm like 518,000 views now, heading for 1 million. So everything is going good. Thanks for all the great comments. Thanks for all the new subscribers. Please subscribe, like, and comment. And I'd like to hear from everybody about your projects, everything you're doing. So with that said, let's take a look at what we've been doing. And we'll talk about this roof. One thing that I didn't show you when I did the roof panel is a video, few videos back that show me doing the roof panel. And I actually put a little extension leg on my shrinker. And this is the shrinker that I use that did most of the work on that roof panel. And this thing, because the leg ends basically right under there, you see the little tab of it. So I put a 2x4 on here, which gave me that extra length I needed to shrink that panel, make it more comfortable. So this is how the roof came out after a bunch of grinding. You can still see, you can see where it was welded into place, but the shape of it, I couldn't be happier with the shape of it now. The way it came out, it fits. Obviously we got, filler and all that to do afterwards. But the shape and look and the curvature, I think, goes perfectly with the shape of the car. This is that side panel I put in. And here's where my weld seam is, right along there. And I took a hand planisher that my buddy gave me, or lent to me, I should say. He didn't give it to me. And I planished that down, which is this little handheld device right here. And I put that inside the car and planish that roof line down. So I couldn't be happier with the way that looks. This is old damage here, but there's structure in here. Probably hard to see, but there's structure under that corner there, which, you know, so I'm gonna have to still mess around with it and try to get it a little better. And back here, I was able to get the hand planisher up and got this pretty good. But, you know, good enough for, you have to add a little filler in there. Then I welded under here all along. And this thing is in pretty good shape for the shape it's in at this point. So now on the inside, I'm going to open these doors. Watch out for my welder. I've got a blankie in there to kneel on, but you can see in here, this is, all this stuff is hanging loose. It needs to be cut to length because this is where the back roof, I took 21 inches out of the back of the roof. This is a model 48. Anybody who's new to the channel, model 48, and we moved this roof forward 21 inches. And then cut the hump off the back, built all this from scratch. So here is the trunk with the spare tire on, and then we go to open this, and that clears that by a mile. I mean, there's a lot of room in there. So everything still needs work. I still need to do a little work on the trunk. I'm still contemplating the spare, don't know yet. And I was cleaning out my junk pile and found this piece of Luan, which was a form for the Duesenberg looking car that I built. And I, was going to throw that out, and I picked it up. I'm like, hey, that looks kind of like, pretty good fitment for the car, because I'd like to do skirts. So it fit right in there, and now I can take a look at what it would look like possibly with skirts. You know what I mean? So my shoelace came untied, excuse me. So that's where we're at. Roof is caught up. Possible skirts. I'm a huge fan of skirts. I think they make it look a little gangster, and that's that. So today we are working on the interior of the car. So let's get some tools going. We'll get set up and try to get the camera so we can see what's going on in here, and we'll go from there. All right. All right, so I've got some blankets in here to make it a little softer. Got to do a little bit of crawling around. I got the camera set up. I don't know how it's going to work out, but we'll do our best. Put a clamp on here to hold this in. So I've got the rear came forward, and this is part of the internal structure. So I've got to cut this down to match these lines up, and then we'll weld that together. And then this bottom piece will come in and meet up with the top piece. And again, everything's got to be cut into place. And we'll see what we got. So here we go. And of course, the welder tip is a little clogged up, but hey, that's what happens. You keep on moving. Things get clogged up. Let's see what you're seeing in there. I'm trying to keep out of the way, guys, but it's a really tough spot to have the camera in, you know what I mean? Anybody? I'll try it again. All right. So I've got to grind here. I need a screwdriver to get that, pry that out to make those even. We got a fire. There's always something burning. All right. So that gets me put back together. Now let's do this side. The other side. I gotta reset the camera up. Oh. So I hope everyone's doing good. Yes, sir. It's about a week since I've seen you. or have done a video, I should say. We still got a fire going in here somewhere. Right there. Can't see shite. It's the old glove box liner. Remember, kids, stop, drop, and roll. All right. Fire's out. Do not call 911. Some antiquities. There's an old, must have been the dome-like glass. It's glass. This must have been the backing plate of some sort. And this looks like maybe part of it. I don't know. Anyway, fire is under control. Remember, kid, don't panic. When you have a problem, just keep on moving. Do it slow. Panicking and running will get you nowhere. Fast. All right, so what were we doing before we were putting fires out? So now we've got this side to do. How's that camera work today? So we're doing the same thing over here. Got this clamp we don't need. All right, let's do it. I'm just hoping I'm trying to move the camera around so maybe we'll get a better spot. That's pretty good. Okay. Trying to juggle things around a little bit. You hear the noise, rolling wheels around. Trying to get into posizione. Remember, don't try this at home, kids. Next thing you know, you'll have 8 cars in your yard. That's what happens. It's a bad disease. All right, we're just trying to get into position here. So, do the same thing, repeat like we did the other side. Get this side together. Little clamp on it. This. What'd you do with my gloves? Anybody? Man. Put something down for a minute and a half and it's gone. I can't even find them now. Hold on now, we're coming around. No clue where they went. Completely gone. So, probably had this discussion before, But I got rid of my cable TV because I couldn't deal with commercials on television anymore. Just couldn't watch anymore. It's like wasting enough of my time. So I'm getting gas the other day, and they have a little TV screen where you're getting your gas and you have your credit card and all that, and it asks you about 5 questions before you even get gas. It's wasting more of your time. They have a little TV screen, and I'm a guy who I fill my tank completely and run it to empty, and I fill it completely because I hate stopping for gas. So it's like 28-gallon fill. So it's like 5 minutes. 5 minutes I'm sitting there, and they have a TV screen on with commercials on it, you know, advertising. I'm like, what is this? Is something brand new. I'm like, you know, you just can't escape it. Everything's an advertisement now. All right. So yeah, little TV screens on the gas pump advertising. It's like, what has this planet come to? Mars is looking better and better. Now you probably see that I don't have a helmet on, but every time I hit the trigger, I close my eyes. So it's just aiming into a spot. I'm not doing final welding, we're just tacking. So if you're wondering if I'm using my eyes, no. My eyes are not in use. So I need another little clamp I have outside here. So getting back to sanding, yes, a lot of sanding and grinding and a lot of work, but rewarding. I couldn't be happier with the outcome. More than one way to skin a cat. Be able to get that from over here. So along with a little car fire, this is another reason when you're done welding for the day to stay here take a seat and stare at your project and just, watch the whole car. I always, when I'm done welding, I, just hang in the garage for 45 minutes to an hour just to make sure nothing crazy is going on, Good practice. I do those short bumps, like a boom, 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 because there's like an 1/8 of an inch gap in there, and I'm trying to build up the steel from one side to bridge to the other side. And that is why we do that. So now I've got the rear section tied to the front section, which is tied all in here factory. And now I've got to go in the back there and see there's an old bracket there that's busted off. And I got to tie this all back together to the fender well and back up to the top. I don't need this in here anymore. And then I can finish weld all this around, and that will tie this all back together. The inner structure, like they have down here, tied to the wheel well. We'll tie that all the way back. And this is already attached factory-wise to they call the package tray in the back there. And that will tie our whole interior together. And same on the other side. You can see now we have that cut line, and that's from the old roof coming forward, and that's stitched together pretty darn good. I couldn't be happier with the way that worked out for interior structure. So we've saved, by not cutting that out and just hacking it out, which, you don't ever want to just hack away because you pay for it later. So that's what we did there. Now, again, it's tough to, I'm actually all the way in the front of the car zooming in, but I want to see if we can get that. Let me move the steering wheel. Yes, TVs on gas pumps. That should be the topic of discussion at your next Cars and Coffee. Pretty bizarre. I guess it can find any way to sell advertising, right? It's like the old setup. That's pretty cool. Pretty wild that it fits. I don't understand. I guess this was actually the actual piece. So this didn't change. There's 3 spot welds on there from Old Henry. And these welds down here. Trying to see what they did. What they did at the factory. Is it a before lunch car or an after lunch car? Let's see if that takes a weld. Use Old Henry's equipment. Henry's equipment. Lots of crawling. hate when you weld the clamps to the project. That's about as pretty as when Henry did it. Got another fire. Now we just got to do that way back, and that should do it. All right. So we're stitched in, back's welded on. I've got to do one right at the very end there. Very end there. So do a little crawling. Finish welding this opposite side. And then we've got more structure. Just keep on adding in and get her pulled together, and more structure in there, the more the merrier. So let's see what we got in the back here. All right, so I need a little bracket similar to this one on the other side. This is all area that's going to be buried, so you're never going to see it. So I'm not getting all, I'm not going to measure the existing bracket and make one exact. I know what it looks like by eye, so I'll kind of just guesstimate what it looks like. Chunk of steel here, little piece of scrap, and stuff, always stuffing away. All right, so we're going to guesstimate that about there. Guesstimate that about there. We'll bend that about there. Bend that about there. We got ourselves a little eyeballed structural piece that kind of matches old Henry's. And we will weld that into place. And that will give us our gusset, I guess is a good word. If I put you here, my back is going to be to you. Man, I got to get a cameraman or girl. One or the other. And that's where we're going. Careful now. Don't fire the cameraman. He's doing the best he can. I hear you. I hear you over there. Oh, jeepers, Steve. All right. Let's see what we got. Probably have to do a little trimming. A little trimming. Got to move our ground to the other side. Helmet. Make sure the screwdriver is right under your knee. That's where you want that. Okay. Okay, so, oh, what the hell? Oh, I already got that. You know, I couldn't see it with the light. That's too funny. Way too funny. I got to show you. Now I got to get out and show you. Because everything's rusted the same color. For example. The bracket, which I couldn't see. Well, now you can't see it. Is right there. I already gave it a tack weld, as you can see right there. I just got to finish welding that bottom. And then that bracket is already in place. I'll be darned. How about that? Remember when your eyes were good when you were 17? It was a very good year. You know, I hit 40 and the whole shit house went up in flames. You know what I'm saying? It's, you know, the eyes start to go. The hearing. And now 25 years later, holy crap. It's a free-for-all. What? I start every conversation with what? My wife loves it. All right. Cool. I think we're good. awesome. So, our next subject for the day will be the side-to-side brace for these doors. Let me shut down. Turn your gas off on your welder. I know I tell you that all the time, but it's true. They do leak and you will lose your fuel overnight. Been there, done that. Cost me a tank of fuel. Fool me once, can't fool me twice. All right, so let me get some tools out of my way. So what I want to see is you can see right here that ratchet strap. I'm going to shut the doors and reach in and loosen that strap. And I want to see if these doors pop out at all. And if they don't, that means that, you know, what I've done so far is holding together. But if they do, then where that ratchet strap is, I've got to put like a 1-inch square rod across. And there's plenty of room in here for my seat, driver's seat. And don't forget, this was a 4-seater or 6-seater, maybe back, they called it back in the day. But we're not going to have a rear seat. I'm just going to have a trunk line, and I can just put a bar across and just put steel over that and make a platform and, you know, pretty it up. But today's test is to see if what I've done with the roof and all this has held it in position, propped up. So here we go. We shall see. She's a creaking. All right, so that's with no pressure on it. You know what? They come out just a hair. I don't know if that showed on the video. From the side, you can see they come out just a hair on each side, but they were a 1/2 inch. I don't know about this side. This side didn't move at all. So I'm very happy with that. That means the structure that I've put on so far is carrying this thing together. But that doesn't mean that I'm not going to put some structure in here. So as you can see, that's completely loose. What I'm talking about is putting something, you know, from like this sidewall across to tie this together. And then there's plenty of room for the seat here, and then just put like a new false shelf on here or something, because I really don't need all kinds of room in the back end. But what I do want to see right now is I'm going to tighten this, or shut this up, and I'm going to put the camera, we'll zoom in on that. And I want to see if that seam tightens up when I crank it together with the ratchet strap again. I mean, it barely moved. It barely moved. I think it's probably good, but I'm going to keep that strap on while I do the rest of the work. Because it just makes sense to do that. I'm trying to get back here to the money shot view for you. So that went really easy today. That was an easy thing to tie that in. Just have a little more. I'm going to put another diagonal strap in the back there to the top of the wheel well. Weld that all up tight. If it needs any patch metal, I'll put that in there. There's going to be a window in here, but it's just going to be glass, basically glued in. And then I'll make some wood trim around here on the interior. So there's no, crank up windows or anything going in the back there. And so that will structure it out. And then I just don't know if I'm going to put anything in here yet. I'm keeping it strapped together because I have to put braces up in the roof line here. And then I'll take, so it'll carry from here to there with an arch in it. And then I'll take and put, I'm trying to say, seam sealer on there, which is a liquid, it's a caulking and hard as a rock. You can prime it, paint it, and it's in every car you own. Every car in your driveway has seam sealer in it somewhere, and they use it every day in the auto industry. I've used it on all my hot rods. It's just really cool where you're not doing continual welding. Say you're welding a spot every couple of inches or every inch, and it's just inside the lining of a trunk or something. You put the seam sealer on there. It just fills in all that, all those voids, and keeps your air out, keeps your exhaust out, whatever. So seam sealer, great stuff. So anyway, that's where we're at for right now. Thanks everybody for coming back. You saw the finished roof line today, and the next thing I'm going to do is I'm probably going to start heading for taking the fenders off, disassembling a little bit. I've got to get this roof line finished up. I do want to do an interior trunk piece of steel, just a finished look inside the trunk. That'll wrap that thing out, and that's it. So what do you think of the skirts? Yeah? I love fender skirts. Also, when this thing finally hits the ground, I want to, get the body off. I want to drop this front end and rear end probably 3 or 4 inches and get that thing close to the ground. But I want to see it without the caddies on it. Right now, has these rollers, has it off the ground a little bit, and do my measuring and see how far this body is off the ground before I take the body off and know those numbers. So, hey, thanks for coming back. Everybody have a great day. Today is Tuesday, April 8th, 2025. We had snow this morning in New England, cold here today. Gonna be 22 degrees tonight. So that's old man winter in New England. You just have to wait and see. So anyway, guys, thank you very much. Thanks for all the great comments. I really appreciate it, everybody. And I did a short video of this car with a Led Zeppelin song on it. It got 35,000 views this weekend. So I don't know what's happening, but it's all good. So thanks a lot. Have a great day. Talk to you soon.